Hi, and welcome back to Ace Ideas. It is me, Blurry Masque, and, this week, the topic, well, it's not really a topic, but we're all meant to answer the questions in this questionnaire, so, everyone's obviously been really busy. I don't think any videos have come up yet. I am running really late. It's currently Saturday here, and I'm Wednesday. But yeah, it's quite a busy week. I know Christmas is coming up and all sorts of other stuff. I had a graduation this week. I got my scores and I got into uni. So that wasn't this week, but I think it's been since my last video. It's been in that 2-week period. So I thought I'd let you know that. Anyway, I should start answering the questions on Le Questionnaire. So yeah, first question. Did you always know you were asexual? No, I didn't. As you might have guessed from the videos I made in the past, or might have heard, really, not guessed, because I've told you, I just didn't know what I was, and I never really identified as anything else. I just was like, this doesn't make sense, but neither does this, and I just think I'm different, and that is it. But yeah, I didn't really know I was asexual until about April this year. So yeah, it's been a pretty great discovery for me. What identities did you try on before realizing you were asexual? That's an easy one. I guess I didn't really label myself as anything, but things I considered. I kind of thought that I might be heterosexual initially, I guess, because I was aesthetically attracted to men, I suppose, but it was very rare. My friends thought I was weird because I rarely ever found anyone hot and thick or whatever else weird words people come up with for aesthetic attraction, and if I did, they made a big deal about it. So I thought, yeah, that was a possibility, but I didn't really feel right with that. Then when I got my first crush, and it was on a girl, and I obviously I still identified as a girl myself then, and I thought, wait, this doesn't make sense, and I didn't feel drawn to her physically at all, like at all, and I thought, well, this is strange. So I'm like, is it possible that I'm like romantically attracted to women and I guess physically attracted to men? And I looked it up and I found that was a real thing, but it still didn't feel right. I was reading about people talking about sexual attraction, and I'm like, this doesn't sound like how I look at people at all. I usually just, if I find someone good looking, I just look at them, and that's it. I wouldn't want to do anything to them or with them. I just, yeah. And yeah, so that was interesting. And then after that, I kind of just decided, I don't really need a label. If nothing out there seems to fit me, I'm content being who I am. When I found something that did fit me, it was great, because I had something that I could use to communicate who I was to other people instead of people just thinking I'm weird. Not that they don't do that anyway. How do you think your sexual orientation makes you view the world? I guess that it affects the way I see things, because I guess I don't understand half the time people's need to sexualize other people. I think I tend to see people in general in a more platonic way, and I don't make that leap to relationships or to sex. That's just, I guess, how I work, and which is interesting. But yeah. Other than that, I don't think it has much effect. It might make me slightly more sympathetic to others in similar positions to me. Or I think actually, since discovering asexuality and being a part of the community that is even, it's made me a lot more tolerant, a lot more sex positive in myself. In that aspect, I guess getting to talk about people's choices and how people should have the right to just define themselves and to decide how they do or don't use their body sexually. I think that getting to talk about that in a place such as Avon has really benefited me as a person and taught me a lot about, I guess, treating other people as valid human beings and not discriminating against people for their sexual choices like I used to. But that's less from being me in terms of my sexual orientation, but as to being a part of a community that's actually discusses these difficult kinds of questions, which I think is great. Alright, next question. How do you think your sexual orientation makes the world view you? Alright, I've told you the weird one for starters. I definitely think others view me as weird, but I don't know if that's because of my sexual orientation or just my personality, to be honest. To the way I think the world views asexuals in general, I would say, I guess some people think that we're prudes, that we're maybe pure, that we're saving ourselves, that we possibly have some psychological issues to work through that are preventing us from, I guess, being free with our sexuality. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest, but it's a possibility about how society views asexuals. Other people just see us as other people and do not care what we do or do not feel inclined to do in our relationships, and I think those people are great, and they're the only people I tend to surround myself with. But hey, everyone's different and everyone has differences of opinions, and yeah. Alright. In an ideal world, how would we talk about sex and sexual orientation? I think in an ideal world we wouldn't. I think the only people it really matters to are, I guess, those indirectly involved. I think that the way we view relationships and sex and sexual orientation in general is like, I mean, it's definitely a part of every person, don't get me wrong, but I think people tend to overthink things. They think that it's the most important thing in the world when really it's not. It's just a small aspect of who you are. And, I think any sexual orientation should, like, in an ideal world, be treated exactly the way heterosexuality is, Hi, Mum, this is my partner. Or, hi, Mum, I don't have a partner. No one cares about, I guess, heterosexual pairings and stuff. Or, I guess, that is referring to pairings. So I guess we wouldn't talk about, I could introduce Mum to 3 girlfriends and 2 boyfriends at once, and she should be okay with that in an ideal world. But, unfortunately, that's not the world we live in at the moment, and I guess, people make judgments, and that's the reason this channel has to be up there, to challenge those assumptions and judgments and try and make the world safer for people who are outside of that norm. I hate the word normal, by the way. I think I may have mentioned that in one of my other videos, but I hate that word. Alright, what's the biggest problem with how we talk about sex and sexual orientation now? Well, I think I already answered that. Whoops. But yeah, just basically the fact that, we have to explain ourselves, and we have to fight for all these extra rights, and we have to convince people to accept us, and it's not something that automatically happens, I think that's the main problem, In your opinion, is the media over-sexualized, under-sexualized, or just right? To be honest, I don't know if I have a fair, I guess, perspective on this. I feel like, to me, I think there's a bit too much sex in the media, but that's maybe because I'm asexual myself. To be honest, I get that sex sells supposedly. Alliteration. But, you know, and I get that the majority of people in the world are sexual, and I guess that having a valid portrayal of that in the media is absolutely fine. The thing is, I don't see how women in bikinis, you know, dancing around sell anything but bikinis, you know? You know, having that as an advertisement for breath mints isn't going to make me want to buy breath mints anymore, you know? I think it's just ridiculous, and, you know, I think half of the advertising industry that uses sex as a tool, I think what they're really doing is maybe selling the idea of sex more than anything else. Who knows? I guess it's good, like, I understand that they do it and they, like, to grab attention, but after the attention's grabbed, I don't really see much use in it. And of course portrayal in stories and, you know, fiction and documentary and anything that portrays what it is to be human, television shows, you know, books, movies, plays, it's fine to have sexuality in there because, you know, the majority of people in this world are sexual and you're just portraying a person, and that's absolutely fine. I just don't understand it in advertising. It really makes absolutely no sense to me, but that might be because I'm viewing the world through an asexual lens. I don't know. Anyhow, that's the end of Le Questionnaire. Please feel free to subscribe or to like us on Facebook. I think we're back in 2 weeks with maybe a similar topic, maybe something completely different. It depends on what we're able to get done in these upcoming 2 weeks. But everyone who celebrates Christmas, have a merry one, and whatever else you do in the next 2 weeks, I hope you have a great time doing it, because happiness is always the best. Anyway, thanks for listening to me jabber to my camera once again. It's always great talking to you. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to my answers to the questionnaire. And have a very good next 2 weeks, and I'll see you in a fortnight. Bye!